The Hive has a massive amount of hackers. If you were to play a few games of Skywars, I guarantee you'll find at least one. But very few instances of cheating are as infamous as the case of SwimFan72. Although today SwimFan is relatively unknown in the wider Hive community, in the early days he was at the absolute top and managed to build his channel all the way to 14,000 subscribers. He got his early success through being a really good Hive survival games player, absolutely dominating the competition and beating all of the best players. He posted his gameplay to his channel and viewers were stunned with how crazy it was. It was almost a little too crazy. Some people decided to take a closer look at SwimFan's gameplay and he quickly started getting accused of cheating. He would go on to delete dozens of videos from his channel, probably out of fear of being caught and losing his reputation, but by that point it was too late and the damage had already been done. One of the biggest Hive YouTubers, Ignacio Blade, even posted his own video on the situation where he got SwimFan to admit to cheating in a voice call. The majority of Ignacio's video is lost to time now, but thankfully, Pocket actually made his own video on SwimFan a few years back, and we still have clips of the big exposed video available to us from that.
Okay, now Swim, with that being said, before we get onto the nitty-gritty stuff, right, I want to ask you a question that's going to determine how this entire conversation goes. At any point ever, not in tournaments, just ever, have you ever auto-clicked on the Hive?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, so yeah.
Past, though, I
okay, so to be clear, hold up. So specifically, okay.
Do you want me
to
talk?
Oh yeah, sorry, go through.
Like the reason I was denying against Ignacio is because that was like way in the past, and you want to have a history of like clean.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't here. I'll just be clean.
So you were auto-clicking there.
Looking back at the older clips, it was pretty obvious he was auto-clicking, and it was really only a matter of time before he got caught. Today, SwimFan isn't really a talking point in the Hive community, and he rarely uploads. He's pretty busy living a normal life right now and going to school to learn how to code, which is just awesome for him. Really hope to see him succeed sometime in the future. He actually has a lot of talent. Now for a fairly recent case. The new-gen Hive creator Uside was seen as a big upcoming creator during the year 2023, managing to gain over 2,000 subscribers. He started rapidly growing over the later half of that year because of his videos showcasing his impressive movement and PvP, reaching a peak of 400 new subscribers in a single month. For reference, that would have made him the 19th most subscribed Hive YouTuber of August, and he got similar numbers to It's Greg, Potato Pie 25, and YU During this time, the entirety of the competitive Hive community knew he was cheating. If you watch his gameplay, it's just super blatant. He would start uploading videos making fun of their claims to try and discredit them, but that did very little to slow down the accusations. In November of 2023, a very well-respected Hive PvPer who goes by Koro would drop an exposed video on Uside. Uside would then falsely copyright strike this video because he's a complete coward and was scared he would lose his reputation of being a good Minecraft player if it stays up. This ended up backfiring on him though, because Koro would re-upload the video but with the clips taken directly from Uside's channel removed, and the video had gained so much more attention because of the scummy actions of Uside. His insane growth came to a complete halt because of the drama, and he has not been able to see the same numbers since. His videos are now filled with hundreds of dislikes, and he will never be respected as a Hive player ever again. Koro actually went on to become the 18th most subscribed Hive YouTuber that month, beating out Uside, which is just such a satisfying ending in my opinion. I highly recommend checking out Koro's video on the situation, as it's actually really good and he'll be able to better explain the situation and how stupid Uside truly is. Next up, we have the story of Skeller Plays, which is a little more unique compared to the others. Similarly to SwimFan, Skeller first got his relevance pretty early on in the Hive community, but he didn't really maintain it as well and never reached the same heights as SwimFan. That was, however, until a few years later in 2023, he made a comeback in the PvP scene and started making some noise with how quickly he started dominating the competition with this brand new knockback reduction method called 7-tapping. What is 7-tapping? happen, you might be asking? Well, on the Hive, pro players are constantly trying to find ways to take as little knockback when getting hit as possible. The most popular way to achieve this is a method called jump resetting. How it works is basically when you get hit, you can press your jump key to cancel out knockback. This gives you a huge advantage when taking a fight in PvP. On the hunt to find better ways to reduce knockback, players found out that hitting the A and D keys after getting hit reduced knockback greatly. They called this method of knockback reduction 7-tapping. Kellerplay saw this method and he quickly became one of the best players to use it. It was crazy how consistently he could reduce his knockback and beat other top players. He kept saying it was all because of 7-tapping, and he was praised in the community for being so good practically overnight. Except there was just one problem with his story. 7-tapping isn't real. Now from the start, I was always very suspicious of 7-tapping. When I heard about it, I just couldn't make sense of how hitting A and D would reduce upwards knockback. From a mechanic standpoint, that just doesn't make any sense. I decided to give it a try anyways, and after a few hours of testing with some friends, I was just never able to hit a 7-tap once. But months later, when pretty much every PvP sweat in the community had a go with 7-tapping, it was proven to be fake pretty quickly. And since 7-tapping isn't real, that could only mean one thing when it comes to Skeller's rapid improvement and lack of knockback. He cheated. He wouldn't admit to it though, and even gave us the now iconic "bro, I shouldn't be banned for 7-tapping" line. So he was asked to perform a screen share in front of a bunch of people to see if he was really telling the truth. To no one's surprise, he failed the screen share and he was found to be guilty of cheating.
Yo, he found the SS. Yo, screenshot that right now.
Okay.
Before we get into the next story, I'd just like to ask you to please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I want to hit 40,000 subscribers and it would help me out so much. Next up, we have the case of Jakaido. This situation was so big in the Hive community that it's probably the most well-documented instance of someone getting caught cheating. The story of Jakaido starts way before he was part of the Hive community though. He first started making a name for himself on CubeCraft's Bedrock server because of his crazy PvP abilities and absolute dominance in scrims. He didn't actually last too long without getting exposed though. After only 5 uploads, he would go on to upload his final video just titled Cheatin'. He said in a pinned comment that he would be quitting Bedrock and there'd be no more uploads after this one, with the comments filled with a large amount of support and forgiving him for cheating. We know now that this obviously wasn't his last video and he never stopped cheating after this, but it's really interesting to see how he was caught so quickly and never once thought to maybe stop cheating at literally everything. Now sadly, his CubeCraft days were never documented very well, which makes sense considering he just started and hadn't made a name for himself, so finding clips of him cheating is really difficult. We just know that at one point he did cheat and he supposedly apologized for it. After getting exposed and ending his reign on CubeCraft, he would try out other servers, with the next big one being Hyperlands. He didn't last long in that community though, because there was just clip after clip and even memes of him blatantly cheating. This is actually how I originally found out about him a little over a year ago. One of my friends needed a sub for a Hyperland scrim, so I decided to help out. My team kept mentioning how Jakaido was on the other team, and they were confused as to why he was allowed to play, since everyone knew he was cheating at that point. But because of how small the Hyperlands community is, Jakaido got away with cheating once again, and he moved on to the Hive community without any problems. Jakaido would thrive after joining the Hive community, quickly being considered one of the best players in the world and would grow his channel well past 5,000 subscribers. There were a lot of suspicions of him cheating, but his loyal audience who thought he was the best player ever would quickly shut down those claims and attack anyone who says anything bad about him. Even the biggest Hive YouTuber Evident was shut down after accusing him because of the hate literally hundreds of people were sending him, calling him salty and bad after Jakaido beat him in the semifinals of a big charity tournament.
What? Okay, chat, chat, considering he's literally cheating, I think I did good. Okay, considering he's literally cheating,
I think I did pretty good.
The audience loyalty he got by lying about his skills is the reason he was able to get away for so long. Every time someone caught him, he would come up with some BS excuse and everyone would just believe him. So what finally did him in? What made the entire community eventually come together to finally get him labeled as a fraud and a cheater? The hero of this story is none other than SwimFan72, who dropped a huge exposed video on Jakaido which ended his career for good, filled with blatant clips of him cheated in scrims, going over every lie he's ever told, and finally getting Jakaido to admit to cheating on recording.
Okay, Julian, so whenever you've been losing, it's just been a tendency of yours to just like toggle and just like cheat.
Yeah.
It's a really good video, and I highly recommend checking it out after this one.